It is said that the place you're born and raised in shapes you as into a better person. So how would you say that Pune has helped you become a better financial leader?
Okay, now when you look at Pune, Pune is always known as the Oxford of the East,
Right.
and plenty of education institutions, the kind of education that we get, the kind of quality of education that we get, the institutes that are around in Pune.
Now after 40 years, how do you view money or finance professionally and personally?
See, the basic aim of any organization is to make profits. Don't take things for granted, and especially because the other thing was that one is you don't take for granted anything in life. Second thing is you ensure that you have some alternative plan Bs available always.
Hello friends and welcome to Corporate Citizen Conversations. I'm Ekta Katti and today we are honored to have an exceptional leader with us, Mr. Vidyasagar Appukuttan. He is the Director and Financial Controller of Japfa Comfeed. He is a finance masterio with around 30 years of experience in this field. And where people see spreadsheets, he sees stories of impact. Hello sir, how are you doing?
Good. Thank you for the introduction.
Okay, so can you tell our viewers a bit about yourself?
Okay, professionally I'm a cost accountant, member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Been working in the corporate life for almost more than close to 4 decades now. And been in this corporate career, I've been working with many various industries. Started with software industry, moved on to capital equipments, and then from pharma. Auto ancillary was the industry where I worked for quite some time. And now I'm into the sunrise industry, which is the food industry, which is where we are producing animal feed and we have a small chicken business.
Okay, and what's your hometown?
Basically, I'm born and brought up in Pune.
Okay,
So I'm a
Pune.
Punekar in that sense.
Okay, and where are you originally from?
My roots are in Kerala.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you call yourself as Punekar?
Of course, yes.
Okay, so it is said that the place you're born and raised in shapes you as into a better person. So how would you say that Pune has helped you become a better financial leader?
Okay, now when you look at Pune, Pune is always known as the Oxford of the East,
Right.
and plenty of education institutions, the kind of education that we get, the kind of quality of education that we get, the institutes that are around in Pune, very famous institutes produced many famous personalities from the city of there. Even from a finance domain, if you speak if exclusively on the finance domain, many of the best known chartered accountants are from the city. And so it gives you that kind of edge, a competitive edge and leverage, and you are always working with the best minds. And that helps you to pick up yourself and pull yourself, and also gives you the desire to excel. And that is how Pune has helped me.
Why finance?
Why finance? Okay. So when I started off, I was good at maths. And then when I did my 12th standard, that point in time, I had branched out to commerce. But then there was statistics also, mathematics also, and I was more interested in maths and stats and the numbers. And as I started learning and getting into commerce and understanding things, see, everything boils down to money. Everything, whatever you do, it comes down to money. So I said, oh, it's a good function to be in. I know you tie up, you get to know the entire thing, what is happening in the organization, because all things starts and end with finance in an organization.
Correct.
So that's how it got me excited, and that's how I then started, of course, because of whatever economic pressures were there, I was not able to do my CA course that point in time. I joined a CA firm, but then as circumstances would have it, I had this unique course that time known as Cost and Works Accounting, which is basically into costing and management accounting. And that is why then I pursued that course to be a finance professional.
Okay, so now after 40 years, how do you view money or finance professionally and personally?
Professionally and financially, see, the basic aim of any organization is to make profits. Okay, through profits. And profit is not a bad word. When you say corporate's objective, or the only objective of corporate is to make money. But also understand that when corporates make money, they also invest. Now with kind of mandatory corporate social responsibility, CSR obligations, and things like that, and sustainability reporting that has just come in. Corporates have been spending quite money, so it also helps the community around to grow at the end of the day.
The industry too.
Industry to grow, the community to grow. So when the community grows, the industry also grows at the end of the day. So it's a all-encompassing win-win situation. Coming to personally finance, I mean, so money for me, like I'm a physician, so at the end of the day, money holds only that much importance. I don't crave for money at the whatever is there, I of course you always have the objectives. I'm contented with that. I don't go after money. There was a time where when you are young, you would like to have money, you want to be those, you run behind it, and then you come, we have seen, so I come from an era where India or this country had, we were all in shortages every point in time. So that always made us think frugal, keep our resources tight, not waste our money, not waste the food, not waste the things that we have. So, but after a certain time, it's in abundance now. If you say it's in abundance, so you don't run after money. And after a certain point in time, what's important in your life is how are you contributing to the society? How are you contributing? How are you helping or making positive impacts on people's lives? So that is what that's the stage at which I am today, where you are looking at. So as the head of finance and as the director for this organization, what is more important for me is to see the people who join us, they become better professionally and personally. No one comes to an organization saying that, okay, I will give the full life here. And especially with Gen Zs today, the attention span or the thing is, how do you help them to grow? How do you help them to grow professionally by giving them opportunities, challenges? So that's what keeps me going today, rather than only the money part. Money is maybe lower down the ladder in terms of the priorities in life.
Okay, so by the looks of it, I feel that you have mastered the art of stillness by being in the financial world. Is that so?
May not be stillness, but of course, finance. When you are in a finance profession, it is always challenging, especially when you work in industries like ours today, the industry that I'm in today, where we are more exposed to commodity pricing. And commodities in India based on the rains. If the rains don't happen, the commodity prices are shortage, the supply is less, the prices go up, the prices fluctuate. And so what I call it as having a method in that madness, method in this volatile thing is always important. And then finance helps you to stay grounded, helps you to help the organization stay grounded, ensure that you are able to run the business. Because in business, what is also important, we said at the beginning of this conversation that profits are important.
Correct.
But when you look at business, it's not only profits that are important, it is also the amount of cash that you have. Because at the end of the day, businesses burn out not because of they don't make money. It's all because they have not handled the cash.
Correct.
So even in personal life, if you don't handle the cash that you have got in, if you invest, even in personal life, if you invest irrationally or you spend more than what you're getting and you are on your borrowed money on credit card loans or personal loans, there will be a time where you will get burnt out, right? So it's important to see how you are managing the cash. Management of cash is as important or maybe more important than having only profits as a guide, basically.
Okay, so I'm sure you must have seen a lot of highs. What about your lows? What has been the lowest point in your life, and what are your learnings from that?
Lowest point in my life, in my professional career, has been in one of the organizations. I don't want to name them.
Okay.
But we were having discussions with the union and during Diwali time.
Okay.
And
must be in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, in the 90s.
Unions,
yeah, 90s. So where we had agreed to a certain amount of Diwali bonus, and I was handling treasury at that point in time. And we were closer to the dates of payment were coming closer, and one of the banks just refused to give us release some funds.
Okay.
And I mean, I spent some sleepless nights that time to find out an alternative source of ensuring that we have the money to pay to the workers on the Diwali. I do not want the festival to be dark for our employees at the end. So that was one of the very challenging and very.
What were your learnings from that?
One was don't take things for granted, and especially because the other thing was that one is you don't take for granted anything in life. Second thing is you ensure that you have some alternative plan Bs available always. So, and that is why today I have multiple banks with me. I have ensured that sufficient lines are available It's not that if you have a working capital limit, for example, you utilize it fully and we ensure that you feel that there's nothing when something comes up. So you ensure there's always a headroom where any exigencies come, you are able to draw some money out of that. So that's been one of the learning, and that's been what's been practiced after that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Were you the youngest P&L leader back?
Of course, yes. Of course, in one of the organization, I was part of the business management team. So I was the youngest in that team.
So how was it like? Was it very like scary, like pressure? Were you pressurized? Like, did you feel the pressure? What were your learnings from that?
No, I think the colleagues at point in time, or the business heads, or even the managing director, or even our group CFO that point in time. No, I was part of the business management team for a particular division. I mean, they were all very supportive, and even the business heads. No, as finance, you also need to understand what the business model is, to understand the connects in the business. So it is always they always looked up to me for giving them the finance perspective of things. And I always looked up to them to understand why they want to do something, what are the challenges they are facing, especially in sales or production. And then I was able to get. So it was a win-win situation, a wholesome, good situation to be in.
Okay, because you're in the world of finance, what is the best piece of financial advice you've ever received personally and professionally?
The best advice that I've got and I've always been given is be within your limits. Be within your limits.
For spending?
For spending. And always don't take your income for granted. You always need to have a plan B in place. So you always need to have a plan B.
How much should you save percent of?
If you ask the financial planners today, because today financial planning is a very important exercise, there are a lot of certified financial planners, qualified people. So if you ask any of them, or if you ask even us, if in our treasury policy that we have created for this organization, as I said, our cash flows are not stable. Our cash flows can also go haywire based on whatever is happening with the commodity prices. No, we keep about 6 months cash with us. So that now, why 6 months? The logic is when you go to a bank, it takes that much amount of time for talking to the bank, getting the negotiations up, getting the offer, the sanction letter, getting it approved by the board. So it's generally that cycle. So generally, that's why we keep about 6 months of cash with us.
Okay.
That's the advice I would like to give all the youngsters, young guys who are starting out, young minds who are starting out. At least 6 months of cash, emergency funds you should have with you, so that you don't know what happens in your life, or even in your corporate life. Any emergencies that can come, suddenly something can happen, and you should not be left high and dry. Yeah, you need to plan that. You may not be able to say, okay, 5 years down the line, I should have so much cash. Maybe you plan it, but you will not be able to plan it such a way. But what is important is at least for the 6 months, you are able to. So why this is also 6 months is at least you have that kind of a sort of window where you can look at plan B, plan C, and then really handle the situation.
My last question would be, what is the financial industry expecting from the freshers?
Financial industry. Now, when you say, okay, financial industry is different from the corporate industry. When financial industry, when you say financial, the corporate.
Vertical of the
today, for example, we have recruited people from this very institute, okay. I have 2 people working from the students, youngsters who have just graduated from this institute and working with us. What I see is, I think the institutes should have much more of industry academia participation, where they are exposed to how the industry works. Today, to give a small example, when you come to the colleges like the institutes, and when they teach you accounting, basic accounting, let's talk of accounting. Now they teach you the debit, credit, double account. Now, when you come to an organization where there's an ERP system, you don't see those entries because the entries are passed on by the. But there's a way to see how it is passed. Correct. So people should be the students should be exposed to certain basics of those the ERP systems, how it is handled. First thing is that. Second thing is, as in personal life, the students should also be, especially institutes where you teach MBA, there are a lot of subjects which are taught, which is across. It could be finance, marketing, HR, operations, all those things. So what is the connect between this? How does an organization work? How does a decision in one part of the organization create a problem in the other? And how does it ultimately affect the balance sheet or the profit and loss account? Is something that connections have to be taught at the end of at least with some examples, at least with some case studies. So that is how then the students will be at least exposed and ready somewhat, theoretically at least, on to be more effective in the industry.
Okay. Would you like to add anything, sir?
No, that's it. I think institutes like Balaji are doing a human service. I was talking to the Mr. Subramaniam Bayu. I know this institute for quite some time, when they were operating out of premises opposite to Pune station. I've been associated from there, and after that, after so many years, I've seen this institute grow in prominence in the terms of the offerings that they are giving, and I think, in fact, I'm happy that they have invited me to be here for this Diksharam for this 2025-27 batch, and I would like to wish them all the best and see this institute growing and in leaps and bounds, including the ratings, maybe one of the top institutes of India.
Thanks a lot, sir, for giving us the interview. It was lovely talking to you. The interview was very insightful. And thanks, friends, for watching our interview. And if you like it, please do like, share, and subscribe. It will mean a lot to us. Thank you.
Thank you.